Good morning. Let's do sports now on the AM show with me, Muftawo Nabila Abdullahi. On Monday, former Trade Minister Alan John Chimantin broke away from the MPP to run as an independent candidate in next year's presidential and parliamentary elections. And he's been speaking about his vision for sports in the country if Ghanaians gives him the mandate to steer affairs of the country. He says he will focus on infrastructure and also the setting up of academies that will help the development of sports in Ghana.
Investing in world-class new generation sports facilities in selected competitive sporting disciplines. In this regard, my government would encourage the participation of the private sector in the development of sports infrastructure around the country, including sports academies.
A brief message that he sent to the sports community in Ghana. Now let's talk about the Black Queens, and they will later today come up against Rwanda in the second leg of their qualifiers for the 2024 African Women's Cup of Nations. The first leg, which happened last week in Rwanda, saw the Black Queens win by 7-0, and they are seeking to wrap up that tie later today at the Accra Sports Stadium. We hear from head coach of the team, Nora Hoptel, who's been speaking about the hunger of her girls to see off this tie and book a ticket to the next AFCON.
Yes, of course, you're right that we are here with 23 players. The regulations in the AFCON are that we only can announce 18 for the game tomorrow. So we always look a bit for the rotation. In the end, it's always the next game which counts, so we take it very serious tomorrow. And it's all the time a bit question which players are in competition shape, which are in fatigue, maybe there are little injuries, so this is a bit the question from the load side. And then on the other hand, we have a game plan which we slightly adapt, and of course also there we look then for players and position which work in function to our game plan. So probably there will be a little surprise tomorrow. Until today all the 23 players are fit and ready to go. We need to hold with their horses, so they are really waiting to perform tomorrow. Normally they also get in the final decision tomorrow in the pre-match meeting who is announced to be in the 18 squad. They don't know it yet, so we also take a bit impression of the last training, and then we take the final decision. First, of course, you need to congratulate the players. They, in the end, are on the pitch and take their right decisions. We have a big staff which we work very professional behind in the analysis, in the game planning, a lot of individual talks, also video analysis. So there's a lot of work, and this is in the end the secret. Yes, we are proud that we scored so many goals, but even more proud to have a blank sheet behind. We also invest a lot in the defense, and I think until now the game plan gripped, but also the players really transmitted it well on the pitch.
On Monday, the Ghana Premier League match day 2 continued at the Soccer Copper Stadium, where Accra Lions, they won their game against Legon Cities to move to the top of the Premier League. Let's do boxing now. And Ghana went to Senegal to participate in the qualifiers for the Paris Olympic 2024 qualifiers. Unfortunately, all 12 boxers who were sent to the competition failed to secure qualification to the Olympic Games. Head coach of the team, Ofori Asare, says that poor preparations expose the deficiencies of his team.
We have talent, we have the level, but there are other things that support, like what Jojo talked about, the officiating, officials, the way maybe we were handled most of the times. I think I've been singing this song for a long time, and I always use this word that we've been squeezing stone to get water. So most of the times when we get results, it's not just that we brought the results, so that is it. It is because we struggle through a whole lot of things and play some kind of magic, and then before you see we had results. So it has been like sometimes we are lucky. But now, this competition, we didn't get that kind of luck that we were depending on. And in terms of preparation, most of the countries are well prepared than us in terms of what they did before coming to the competition. Some of them went to Russia, some of them went to Cuba, some of them they exposed their boxers to some people, and also they play a role in the officialdom. You see that when we were in the competition, there are some information given to some of the coaches which we don't have, because when we went to the World Championship, the method of judging was different from this Dakar qualification. At the World Championship, there's a mechanism of 2 officiating officials who always stand by, and they when in terms of a close fight or a fight that is more closer, they put in their judgment, and that one will make a difference at the end of the tournament. But this competition, that 2 judges that control that judgment, they are not there. That mechanism is not there. So it means whatever happened. There's nothing of correction of judges, other judges coming to cover the protest aspect of the whole sport. And because of that, we go in there, they box some of our boxers. When you look, you watch them, the way they box, and some of the scorings that weren't given to them. They didn't accredit some of their scoring to them, and they will take a mass from all that you perform, and then it look like you did 0. But seriously, some of our boxers who have qualified, even though it was one slot, who could have at least qualified one if this kind of things didn't happen.
Meanwhile, Samuel Techi, the boxer who won a bronze medal for Ghana in the last Olympic Games in boxing, he had pulled out of these qualifiers, saying that the president of the country, Nana Akufo-Addo, owed him some money, and that if that money wasn't paid, he was never going to represent the country again. He has rescinded that decision, and he started training with the Black Bombers. There are 2 more qualifiers to go, one in Thailand and another one in Italy, and Ghanaian boxers could still qualify to the Olympic Games in Paris 2024. And these qualifiers will be happening in March and May next year. Now, let's do some other stories and talk about sporting infrastructure, but this time around, it's about naming facilities after people that have contributed to the development of communities in Ghana. And the Member of Parliament for Bantama, Asenso Boakye, has named the new AstroTurf in Bantama after his predecessor, Daniel Ochimabwaji, who died just a couple of weeks ago. And he says that Daniel's contribution to the area of Bantama cannot be compared to any other thing, and it is important that his legacy continues. There's more in the following report.
It was a highly competitive contest in the Bantama NPP parliamentary primary in 2020 between Francis Asenso Boakye and Daniel Ochimabwaji. The then incumbent MP, Ochem Aboagye, lost the seat to Asenso Boakye. Notwithstanding, the cordial relationship forged in their formative years continued, according to Francis Asenso Boakye, who spoke to Joy News a few hours after the death of his predecessor on Saturday.
I remember he drove about 4 hours from Chicago to East Lansing, Michigan, to attend my graduation. So we have been very good friends since, and even though we were in the contest, we still remain very good friends up to now. He was a very hardworking man, very brilliant. His work in Parliament, especially on the floor of Parliament as a great debater, is something that everybody will attest to. This sad news is indeed a very big blow to us.
A day after, the Bantama MP commissioned a new Ghana Gas-funded AstroTurf in the area, fitted with floodlights and other facilities to ensure football is enjoyed at any time. The MP chose to honor his predecessor, Daniel Ochem Aboagye, by naming the facility after him.
The commission decided on the unfortunate demise of our respected former Member of Parliament, who happens to be a very good friend of mine. And given the service to this constituency and Ghana as a whole, we thought it was proper and appropriate to name it after
total of 151 astroturfs have so far been constructed under the present NPP government. Minister for Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, explains the importance of such facilities. Meanwhile, contractors of the facility, Wembley Sports Complex, explained standard practices were deployed for the project.
So it is a concept that we are pushing to ensure that every constituency in the country at least will have one astroturf to begin with, fitted with floodlights, so that in the night they can also play football. One significant thing about this astroturf has to do with the fact that it is also multi-purpose. You can use it for funerals, parties, weddings, concerts, and all that.
For Joy News, Nana Ojima reporting.